both these party systems are 200 years old.
Hmm.
Now we have so much more technology, so much it should be, but there's so much money invested. That's a different thing. And then to get to that, like, how do we not have more access to candidates? You know what I mean? Like with all the TV, with all the Wi-Fi, with all of it, and then how people want to make voting harder, but we have that like shit like that makes no sense to me. Like we're supposed to be proud of the voting, but we want to make it harder and more difficult.
They want to make it, if we want to get on some, not that I'm like a conspiracy theorist, because I don't even necessarily believe that this is a conspiracy, but I do. That's what I was saying. What's so crazy to me about all of this is I don't necessarily think, if we're talking big picture,
Yeah.
right? I don't necessarily think it's a Republican thing. I don't think it's a Democratic thing.
Yeah.
I think that it's smoke and mirrors for the government to create
Oh,
a divide,
yeah.
which they successfully have done for
Yeah.
over 200 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when it comes to big picture, a more broad spectrum, it doesn't have anything to do with political parties, I don't believe. I think it has to do with the government and somehow, some way, keeping us distracted from what the fuck is really going on, because it's really easy to keep us distracted with this, right? Like, I think in the sense as well, not only is it easy to keep us distracted between the political parties, but for instance, like you were referring to earlier, with
Preach.
Black Lives Matter, not that that was a distraction, that's a very real thing, but you notice how, like you were saying, everybody else came out of the woodworks and it was, oh well, blue lives matter, and oh, save the children. Not that I'm against saving the children, I think that's a wonderful thing, but listen though, when have you heard about it since? I mean, don't get me wrong, I still share constantly stuff about Black Lives Matter, but as it's not in the media as much as it was last summer, when was the last time you heard somebody say Blue Lives Matter?
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw people posting about save our children? They
Mm-hmm.
don't give a fuck about it. It's literally just to deflect from something else. I don't know. I just feel like when it really comes down to it, it's just a lot more of the government
Yeah.
versus right or left.
Yeah. And that's why I like that point. And that's what the work I want to go into is figuring out how when I like read about how Obama was a community organizer and this because we can affect change. We have to realize that collectively, like if you've seen when instances, if we group together, but that means we have to give a fuck. We have to use whatever voice we have, whatever to give it, whatever side it is, you know what I mean? Like we just
Yeah,
have to give a fuck because they're gonna suppress or oppress whatever it is what the government in general, Republican or Democrat, because they want the power, but we
exactly.
control.
I think that is the the problem, because, and I think that's why, not I think, I know, allegedly, that why they create this divide, because if we really all paid attention and saw the bigger picture and the more broad spectrum, we would it's literally like V for Vendetta. We would take over that shit.
Yeah,
They could not control us at that
yeah.
point.
Whatever laws we wanted to pass would get the people in office that wanted that, and then if not, get them out. We have like it's as simple as that. Like only put people in power that we want to get the stuff done that it's as simple as that. We just have to care more and put each person in each office that we have enough access to the internet, and we just need the government to be more willing to give us that access. Like it.
I think that's the problem too when it comes down to it is,
Hey, don't forget to follow me on social media: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever you want.